Valentine's Day just around the corner. Love is in the air, whether you're trying to find it or avoid it. The holiday has evolved over the years for sure. It's no longer just for couples. Maybe you're celebrating Galentines with your friends. Maybe you're shifting your focus inward with some self-love. Either way, there are healthy and unhealthy ways to do it. If you have not discovered her just yet, we want to introduce you to the relationship expert, Sabrina Zohar, a host of the Sabrina Zohar Show. Podcast is ranked, listen to this, in the top 0.05% globally. Oddly specific and very cool. Sabrina, good to see you. Let's start with those singles ready to mingle. What's your best advice for someone who's dating in this modern romance era?
Hi, Phil. I'm so excited to be here. So I would say when we're thinking about dating and putting yourself out there, what we want to make sure are a couple of things. One, are you showing up authentically? Are you being yourself? Are you being a better buyer with the people that we're going out with? And then I think another element that doesn't really get talked about enough necessarily in the dating landscape is how are you also presenting yourself? What's happening with your nervous system? Are we pacing ourselves and not putting too high of expectations onto other people? And are we learning to go slow? That way, we're not coming from a place of anxiety and I need you and, oh God, I'm going to turn to stone if I don't have you. But instead, we're coming from a place of empowerment of I get to choose if you're somebody that I want in my life, not do you choose to have me in your life.
You know, it's funny, it's advice that people get a lot. It's one of the hardest things, I think, to be yourself, truly in a situation like that, especially when you have all of that going on around you. Whether it's self-love or a long-term relationship, how should someone navigate figuring out exactly what they're looking for? Because that seems to be something that happens over time.
Oh, 100%. I think what we want to start with is looking at what are your morals, your ethos, your ethics, right? What are something that is non-negotiable to you? So that way we know when we're vetting partners or when we're going out there and we're dating, we can start to see, does this something that I can live with or is this something I can't? A really great way to kind of even start this process is what did I used to accept in relationships that I'm no longer willing to? That way we can see, oh, well, my ex used to be very disrespectful, so that is a non-negotiable for me moving forward. We want to make sure that we know ourselves and that we know what we're looking for, which to your point can be the hardest part, which is often why we might chase emotionally unavailable partners or we'll go for people that don't actually align with what it is that we're looking for. Because if we're not being clear with ourselves, again, it goes back to, are you waiting for someone to choose you or are you choosing yourself? And that includes self-love doesn't just mean you do a bunch of bubble baths. Self-love means I accept those parts of me and I am ready to show those parts of myself to the world. And if they're not accepted, that's okay. Rejection is redirection.
And yet a good bubble bath can be therapeutic. I'm curious, give me some red flags and green flags.
100%. Red flags to look out for. What we want to remember about red flags is that those are patterns of behavior, right? I think a lot of us see on the internet, oh, they took you for coffee, not dinner. That's a red flag. When it's like, no, that's just a preference. Red flags to look out for are, do they respect your boundaries, right? Do they take accountability? Are they engaging in active listening and curious about you? Or are they waiting for you to stop talking so they can start talking? Are they love bombing you, right? Coming on really strong, hot and heavy, and then totally fizzling out within a date or two. These are those inconsistencies that we want to look out for because we want words and actions to align while we're dating somebody so that we can again see if this is somebody for our long-term compatibility.
All right, well, I'm going to be actively listening to your podcast. Sabrina Zohar, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.